apologize for being a strong woman. You know what? The world needs more of strong women in different sectors of the economy. And then when a woman stands up for herself, she's not standing up for herself, she's standing up for the whole world world. Hello and welcome to today's episode of Amazing Amazon. This is the program for you and I. This is the program for young and old. This is the program for the teenagers, the young adults, the old, and everyone. Well, the purpose of this program is to motivate people, to remind people that they are doing excellently well, and to tell them to be consistent in what they are doing, as they are just a step away from being the big name. Just last week, we had a conversation with Omotoshola Lihasu, a family lawyer and civil lawyer, as she talked extensively on special child. I hope you learned one or two things from being a special parent, and I hope you've learned that it is very bad to talk back or stigmatize special kids and their parents. Well, on today's episode of Amazing Amazon, I bring to you a very interesting and a well-to-do guest. Before I mention her name, permit me to state out who she is. She is a lawyer. She's a farmer, pardon me. She is a farmer. She's a communications and digital media strategist. She's a social impact and social entrepreneur. She's also a social developmental professional. She's a storytelling and youth engagement. And to capital, she is a climate gender. She goes by the name Baliqees Salaudeen Ibrahim. She's also a Nigerian social activist passionate about climate change, crisis impact and solutions, especially how it is linked to security and peace in the African region. Everybody make welcome. Join me as I welcome on today's episode of Amazing Amazon, Mrs. Baliqees Salaudeen Ibrahim. Good day to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for
I was almost going to get married to you myself. I had to remove your Mrs. and I remember, oh, she's a Miss.
Yeah.
Glad to have you. Good day to you. How are you doing?
I'm very well. So I'm good. I feel excited to be on the show with you.
Great. Well, let's talk a little bit about yourself. How has your week been? How is the economy treating you? How is the cost of petrol and everything affecting the cost of living?
I think we'll dive more in on how it affects my business probably later on, because I mean we've seen the heat on the farm as a result of the fuel, the expense in fuel and all of that, and you know, transporting goods to the market, more expenses from transporters. It's just overwhelming, but I believe that, as they said, this is a renewed hope. We just have to stay hopeful.
Yeah.
It's still too early to
Start
judge a lot of
judging.
things.
Yeah,
so we just adapt to it and see what that takes us. Yeah.
Okay, lovely. Well, it's renewed hope, like you said, and we have to adapt to it and see where it takes us. Now, let's
Secondary school, I didn't get admission right into the university. And I think at a very young age, I realized that I don't want to waste any time in my life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the Polytechnic gave me an admission, and they gave me admission to study mass communication. And I picked it. I was excited. I mean, I never imagined myself going to the Polytechnic. That's it.
So you studied mass communication.
Yes, I did.
How did you end up with climate change?
Yeah, so I mean, so after my national diploma in mass communication, I traveled to Abuja, and I did my internship. So at the course of my internship, my 1 year long internship, I stumbled upon certain things. You know, when I worked at the bank then, and I was just shuffling the internet that day, and I saw this organization that I volunteered with. These are like people that actually ship. These are like organizations that shipped a lot of things, picked that trash, and I started volunteering with them in Abuja. And then after that, after my internship, I took another job with a facility management company. So I was heading their human resource and business management. And because it was linked to environment, I brought in, okay, can we foster a partnership with Pick That Trash to organize what environment day and whatnot. And it just,
started sinking.
Yeah, continued like that. Because I didn't study this thing in school, I started having reason to go online and study more about the cause and what is climate change, what are the effects on our environment, how am I actually directly impacted by climate change? Because sometimes we don't know we're directly impacted,
Yes.
right? Let me cite, for example, now imagine I was coming down here and the whole environment was flooded. It's actually climate change. I've been affected by it indirectly or directly.
Well, I have too.
Exactly. So I started learning, because most of the time nobody's going to come and school you on these things, and the passion just keep growing and it get more intense. And I felt like this is something I really want to contribute to, because at the end of the day, we can't be in this room today if our climate, I mean, if the structure of this building is not well put together,
Yes.
you know, if a lot of things about climate is not right, we won't be here today. I mean, imagine we have like excessive rainfall this morning, I won't come out of my house. So yeah.
Okay. Now, starting climate change through one organization you volunteered for, we assume it's your startup story. But at what point did you realize that, okay, I could actually pick up a career in this?
Okay, so so when I finished my internship in Abuja and I wanted to go back to school for my BSc in mass communication, I thought that I can't just, you know, leave everything in Abuja. I have to bring them with me. So I started Pick That Trash in Kwara State.
Okay.
And I mean, Pick That Trash is not my initiative, but it's something I built in Kwara. And I was able to mobilize young people from different university, polytechnic, college of education, young people in Kwara State. And we started it. We started with about 40 volunteers on our first cleanup. And I think as at the last time I checked, we're already like over 100 volunteers, right? And this is like young people coming together to key into this passion. So we organize regular cleanups, engaging government, policymakers to bring more sustainable approach to environmental pollution, waste management, tree planting, and a lot of other things, right? And it was really interesting because at this time, I was already doing my BSc. So I was shuffling school. My school was Kwara State University. I had to come from Malete to Ilorin most consistently, like it's a travel, like to organize this thing. And sometimes I organize them also on campus, right, with my friends and few people that believe in what I'm doing. Because sometimes when people see you do cleaners, like, oh, what are you doing? Oftentimes my family would see me on TV or any stuff. They'd be like, Baliqees, what are you doing today? I say, please leave me. You know, as early as 5, 6, I'm out of bed because we have a cleanup on a Saturday morning at a market. You have to be there before those market women get there. I mean, this passion, this thing is not just about maybe somebody telling me to do it. It's something I see myself doing consistently. And climate change is actually just one aspect that I never even imagined myself growing so big in, because I'm more of, you know, gender-based violence and stuff. I even started an NGO in Abuja on that particular topic, right? And I was able to merge all of them all together, you know, with support from people who are like, okay, mentors to me, right? I mean, I would acknowledge very well Shefumi Adebote, because he was able to, you know, Baliqees, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. I want to do it, right? Because this is the foundation. I'm here today sharing this story because I was able to put in all of the work. There are challenges, a lot of it, right? Probably because I have the skills to mobilize, the skills to advocate and whatnot. During the NSAS protest in Kwara, I was at the forefront, and I mean, I got calls, right? I got calls, I got messages, even from my grand aunties, like, Baliqees, I don't want to see you there tomorrow. I don't, you know, but I mean, this is a cause of, I mean, young people are half there.
Yeah, we are.
And I would be inside doing what? Like, what would my child say when she gets to know that, oh, mommy was just inside the house, she didn't do anything?
You can cook up a story like our parents did for us.
I know, right? But I mean, it was a very important topic for me because I was not directly impacted by the brutality of police, right? But I have friends in school who experienced this thing. And how can I show, you know, support, solidarity?
Concern.
I have to be part of it. And during the process of the protest, right, a lot of things went wrong. I mean, I made a tweet, and at the end of the tweet, I wrote that the leaders of NSAS protest in Kwara. I never knew that was going to be a hit. I mean, I ran into depression.
Oh.
I got so many phone calls. Like, Baliqees, oh, you say you're part of you're a leader.
Were you at any point scared for your life?
I was not scared for my life because, I mean, it's quiet. Nothing's going to happen to me. Trust me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's your home. It's your home. I don't believe that anyone will want to harm me because I'm doing the right thing. I'm adding my voice to something.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's my belief. It might be different from yours.
Definitely.
Right. So I didn't really feel it. I mean, this is a community, let me call it that, where I have my grandparents, my parents, my siblings, my teachers. You know, a lot of people are there. So
you have your strong faith.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I do. Yeah,
now,
I do.
let me ask you, who is Baliqees? Okay, if someone is asking me, who are you? What do you contain? What do you entail? What do you give out? What do you take in? Who do you think you are? What school did you attend? Your primary school, secondary school, uni? Okay, you told us you went to ND
and I went to the university. Yeah.
But who are you? What are those things you dislike? What are those things you like? What are those things you're passionate about?
Okay, so Baliqees Salaudeen is someone that would not say yes to something that I would not commit my 100%.
Okay, it's as good as you will not bring whatever you will not eat close to you.
No, I won't.
Okay.
I won't. So if I was not comfortable with the work you're doing with the amazing Amazon, I won't be here today.
Okay.
I try as much as possible because I learned it during my volunteering journey. Okay. Which, I mean, I still volunteer with.
So are you advising people out there to volunteer at any point in their life?
Yeah, so if you're comfortable with it, please do. Because I always say this, that when you sign up for things, be ready to commit to it. Just this week, Olasukwabidi was sending me pictures. Okay. So he has an organization in Kwara. I volunteered for them too. Okay. And I will do data enumeration for them. So I'm a data enumerator. So I'll go out, you know, in a Lorraine city, distributing questionnaires everywhere. Okay, probably it's on election, it's on youth, or what have you. And he sent those pictures to me. These are like way back as 2018.
That's a
and
long
I'm
time
like,
ago.
oh my God, this is Baliqees. Like, this is me. You know, I was
living a legacy, even while on earth.
I know. I mean, I was like, oh my God, these pictures are actually memorable, right? Because I signed up, I committed to it. I didn't say, I can do it. And at the end of the day, there is no result. So I try as much as possible that whatever I want to do, I'm ready to put in my 100%. If I'm not going to put in my 100%, I would not even start it, right? I'm someone that if I sit down, as I am right now, a lot of ideas came into my head, right? And sometimes I ask God, why? Why me? Like, why do I have these very interesting ideas? I'm like, oh my God, it's scary sometimes. And then I put it down into document, review what it's going to look like. Sometimes I'll just put it down like, no, it's not time for it. Because I understand that certain things, I mean, you are here, you're hosting this show. It's what you want to do, and you're putting in your 100%. Right? So it's very important that whatever we do, as either young or old, just make sure that, because if you're not, the people you're committing to will be at the detriment of your commitment. So if you're not able to meet that commitment later on, and there are no prior notification or circumstances that might have happened, it really affects productivity. So for Baliqees, right, I try as much as possible to carry that value along with me since my journey started, and I use it a lot in my social enterprise, in my non-profit organizations. When I go out and speak with people, I let them understand that it is not all rosy in the volunteering space. It is not rosy. You're going to commit to it. See, Mira, I've spent my money for organizations. Oh, Baliqees, we're having a cleanup somewhere. I want you to come. I'll use my, money for transportation. Sometimes I'll call my friends to come and pick me up. We go together. After then, I have a culture. Whenever I organize a cleanup in Lorraine, I take my team members to Amala joints. We cannot, I mean, we have to also enjoy ourselves,
we have
right?
to also enjoy ourselves.
I mean, that's a way of me saying thank you to these people.
Yeah, motivating them to come next time.
Exactly. So I think we need to just master these things and see what works for I mean, what works for me might not work for B, right? So this is what works for me. I have my value. I understand that I need people. I need to trust you, and you need to be able to trust me too. So I carry these things consistently without leaving them. You know.
Now, did you at any point make mistakes or challenges, or what challenges did you face? Because, like you said, it's not all rosy.
Yeah.
It didn't go all smooth.
Yeah, a lot of mistakes.
Mm,
A lot of mistakes. I mean, I was just mentioning the NSAS thing. I mean, I
Yeah.
never knew that I shouldn't have said, I mean, NSAS late. I mean, people were tweeting at me, Baliqees, put that tweet down. Why would you say that? I was just trying to take ownership. I was just trying to be responsible with the people that were at the forefront together. That, okay, if anything goes wrong, you can easily say, oh, Baliqees, you are at... I mean, I was still receiving such call, even though people were like, you're not a leader. Why would you say you're a leader of a protest that is national? I was so sad. I ran into depression. This was during, I think, my 300 level exam.
You were still a student then?
Yes, I was. And I
Whoa,
mean,
that's some courageous move there.
Yes. I mean, I got back to school. My lecturers were like, Baliqees, called me into the office. I saw you at the NSAS protest. I saw, you know, I mean, this is something I just want to do. I just want to add my voice. I want to add my voice to topics that matters, but topics that will shape me as a person and, you know, other young people out there. Because at the end of the day, if we did not voice out then, God knows what we'll be dealing with right now. Yeah. So, I mean, that mistake is something that, I mean, I'm looking forward to telling my child the story. I was in my bedroom. I was home. I was not in my hostel. I had to stay at home, you know, just thinking about it. Why did I make this mistake? I was sad. I mean, my friends were tweeting at me and I'm like, this person, why can't you just call me privately and just tell me? I mean, it's sad, right? And then, I mean, something now happened when they were setting up the NSAS panel inquirer, and I didn't take it. I was selected to be on the panel. I didn't take it. And another thing, I'm like, gosh, I mean, you guys will not decide my life for me at the end of the day. But you know what? I didn't regret it. Okay. Because even my relationship with the government got stronger. I mean, they didn't say because Baliqees did not accept to be on our panel, right? And whenever I come for partnership request or collaboration, we would not work with her, right? I mean, that's why I said that Kwara State is my state, is a place that I feel safe being in. And I'm always excited to work with the government, with private sectors, NGOs, young people there. So it's a place I want to, you know, always go back to. But I mean, this is also the city where I've made a lot of mistakes, and, you know, mistakes that in my head I'll just be like, oh my God, Baliqees, did you just do this? So
now, if you are to right your wrongs, what are those things you would probably do?
I think I would, I don't know, I would... I mean, I think I would be more careful.
In what aspects?
I'll be more careful in a lot of things, right? In entrusting certain things to people. I love making friends. So I can't say that. I mean, not all friends will be good and not all friends will be bad,
yes.
Right? So I can't really say I want to stop making friends, right? But I think I'll just be more careful. I'll just be, and I have been actually. I've learned these things, and I've been more careful. I've been more strategic, and I understand when to really take a break.
Okay. Now, you will share us that hint. How do you know when to take a break? The main purpose of this program is to motivate people, is to inform people, is to also educate people. Now, this will be our final question before we go on a short break. How do we know when to take a break? For me, when I do too much and I just break down, and when I break down, whatever thing I'm doing at that time, it's substandard. Okay. Because I am tired, mentally I'm tired, physically I'm tired, and I don't want to do what you want me to do. But then because I have no choice, I just do it. But when I'm tired, when I'm at that level, nothing I do will be productive.
So that's what makes you different. When I was doing this thing, like, I would attend events. There was a period when I was calculating the event I attend on a weekly basis. And in a day, I was meeting up target of attending 4 events in Kwara. When I was in school, I would travel to Abuja for, events that they would invite me for, incubation.
Profitable or non-profitable?
Non-profit.
Whoa.
I mean, but it's an all expense paid. Why?
Oh, okay.
I mean, so another thing, right? There are certain things that you just have to let it be. I would rather you invite me for your event, pay my flight and my accommodation. I'm happy to be in the room with young people, share my ideas, or even learn from them. It's better than money, and that is what, I mean, if I had a lot of money, right, probably I wouldn't be where I am right now, because I saw knowledge as in something that is much more important, and network. I saw it much more important at the very early stage of my life, and that's what I've been able to leverage on. On taking a break, I would attend events four times, like 4 different events in a day. The day I started noticing was, there was a particular period I went out, I attended one event I was speaking at, I attended another one, there was just 2. And then I saw it was happening consistently. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't mean that I would go home and still be the daughter to my parents, still be the sister to my sisters. I won't still go back to school, still face my studies. I mean, when I graduated from Polytechnic, I graduated with 2nd class upper. When I graduated from Kwasu, I graduated with 2nd class upper.
With all the engagements you
had?
had?
Yes, with all the engagements I had. And I mean, it was just like, okay. So now it's just when I'm realizing I need to take a break. So on weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, I don't check my emails. I'm far from my phone. It is only when, Mira sent me a message on a Thursday that she's going to send an email on Saturday. Okay, I have to be on my email. I see emails. Sometimes I'll just be on my phone. I'll see emails. On weekends, I won't respond till Monday. Right? I try to build that culture now in my home. So on weekends, it's family.
As a married woman?
Yes. And even before
but if you were single, would you have?
I would do it from Thursday.
If you were single?
Yes.
So you have just 3 working days in a week?
See, let me tell you, you will get to that level where you just be like, oh no.
This is the limit.
You need to know when to say no. You need to know when to relax.
Let me take it from there.
Yeah.
Dear viewers at home, she said we need to know where to say no. And I am putting it to you right now. You need to know when to say no. And one thing she said that really caught my attention is she had support. And for her to have support, it means she had a good behavior, she has good hospitality spirit. For you to get support, like our last week guest said, she said, support is very important in everything we do. She said, and I quote, you can't do this life alone. Okay. So for you to get support and love from other people, you also need to be supportable. Permit me to use that word. You also need to be supportable. You also need to have good behavior. You need to have good manners. You have to be friendly. Because I cannot be a friend to someone that is not good.
And you have to add value to those people that are supporting you.
Good. So this is where we take a break. And when we return, the program still continues. Please stay with us. It's a pleasure to have you back from that short break, and there you're still on to Amazing Amazon. In case you're just tuning in, this is the right program. Sit down, and the program is about to get more interesting. We are still having a conversation with Baliqees Salaudeen Ibrahim, a Nigerian social activist, among other things she is. And just before we went to that short break, she was telling us about where to put a stop, where to take a break, and when to go back and re-strategize. Now, can you wrap up on that before we go deep into it?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's very important, honestly, for your mental health, for your personal growth. Taking a break is important. Knowing when to stop, knowing when to relax, knowing when to seek for help. Help is not... I'm seeking help doesn't mean I don't know it. I'm seeking help doesn't mean I don't have the capacity. But seeking help strengthens you as a person. It has worked for me, and I believe it would work. When we start seeking help, when we start seeking for support, and what value are we exchanging with that? Are you just trying to be a burden on these people that you're seeking help for, or you're trying to also help them, right? So know when to take a break, know when to, you know, ask for support, be vulnerable to asking for support. Identify the people in your space that would strengthen you. See, I want to be in my house. I mean, I don't know you. Abimbola told you about me.
Yeah.
And you reached out to me. I was just in my house. When you have that network of people, people would reach out to you. They would table your matter.
When you're not in the room.
When you're not in the room. But when you're not visible, when you're not seeking support, when you don't have the support system, my darling, it's not going to work. There's no miracle that would happen. Right? You have to be friendly. You have to have that hospitality spirit. You need to know when to connect to people. You have to maintain your network, right? Because these things add up as you grow as people.
Yeah.
And it's also something that you also want to give back to people. I mean, I want to be 50 years old and sit back in my balcony sometimes and invite young climate activists to my house and just like talk to them. I mean, it's something I'm willing
like
to
a
do.
very interesting long-term goal.
Yeah, it is, and I'm really looking forward to it as long as I'm living on Earth, right? Because it's worked for me. People gave me the support. I want to do it for other people. I've already started doing it, right? But I want to do more. So this way, when they are not in the room and I'm in that room, I'm able to say, oh, this person, oh, she's doing this, oh, he's doing something in this. We can bring him on board. That's how it works. Now,
can you share your journey with us as a social activist for climate change in Nigeria and how it's going? You've talked to me about how we started, but how is it going?
It's going pretty well because
obviously now there's a change in status quo. There's a status quo change.
Yeah.
You're no longer in Kwara. You're now in Lagos. You're no longer the single students that you're not married. So there's now a lot of changes.
Okay, so thanks for highlighting all of those. So I know how to focus my response. So I mean, it's going very beautiful. I would say that even though I'm not in Kwara again, or I'm not living there.
Your legacy still lives on in Kwara?
Yes, I'm still working in Kwara.
Okay.
I'm still actively working in Kwara. Just this week, we're looking at what project we want to do with the Kwara State government on environment and gender. And I mean, that's the sustainability part. There's certain things that when you start, you just have to continue it. Yeah.
So if you leave the country today, would you still continue?
Mira, I will. If I relocate today,
I think I need energy like you.
If I relocate,
if
I relocate today out of the country, that doesn't mean that I won't continue what I'm doing. Because there's nothing stopping me. So why should I stop? When there's nothing stopping me, why do I need to stop? So right now, it's even more getting clearer. It's getting like, okay, I mean, I'm already in my late 20s. It's not me. It was not me. Like, oh my God. I want to go out on the street again and share questionnaires about stuff and ask people questions.
So you missed that lifestyle?
I'm still going to do it. I'm not
I feel like you've grown past that.
I've not grown past anything. So I have a project that we currently launched. Is called Empower, and the project is basically we want to call on policymakers in Nigeria to regulate sanitary pads price. I mean,
I think an African country did it not too long ago, if I'm not mistaken. The price of sanitary towels was expensive, and they had the protests that went to the street to ask for a reduction in the price. While the government was saying they should resort using tampons and clothes and all of that. So now you want to have replica in Nigeria.
Yeah, we want to do it, and what I want to do now is even bigger than me, and I've been thinking about it. So it's going to be a movement where we'll have organizations, different people that will come together and support it. So it's not going to be just Base Planets Foundation, that's my foundation, just doing it, right? We're going to merge we've already identified some international partners that have keen into the project, right? So I'm really looking forward to the research part. I want to go out on the street and ask girls, questions about their sanitary period. I mean, what it is like whenever they're on their menstrual period, and whatnot. I miss all of those days, honestly. So back to your question, really. I think probably because I did my NYC in Lagos. I was part of the NYC SDG CDS group. I was the president. And I mean, those things, it was something I wanted, and I went for it. Like, I wanted to be part of the CDS group. I wanted to lead, and I did, right? And it was very flexible for me because I had a support team, another thing. I had a support system. I made people feel like, probably you're not in the social development space like I am, but we are both core members. How can we work together? How can we strategize together? And it worked for us. We're done. It was good. Now the new tenures, they're bouncing on our legacy. So I've been able to use every step of my life to grow more, to understand what do I really need to do better, because I'm not perfect. So how can I keep getting better in these things? And being married also has shaped a lot of things. I mean, you said I'm a farmer. I'm a farmer because that's my husband's passion.
Oh, okay.
Right? He loves agriculture. He's into immigration, but he loves agriculture. And I came in because I have the climate experience.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, how can we go climate smart with this agriculture that you really, really love? And it's been working so well, in the last 3 years. It's been really superb, and I'm excited to be called a farmer because I go to the farm, I walk. I mean, I go to the farm and I do the work with the team. And I mean, aside from that, I think God has just been really faithful to me. He has really blessed me with that community. He has really seen me as somebody worthy of strength. When you have the strength, just keep going.
Yeah, it makes things quite easy.
Yeah, it makes it easy.
Climate change is something that's really wide, and it happens in and out of Nigeria. Just recently in India, we had a flood watch, and then we had cases of earthquakes, we have roads fire, we have among different things. But the common one in Nigeria is flooding. And I think not Nigeria, it's a Lagos state. Okay, in Nigeria, because sometimes last day we had case of flood in Delta State that affected so many parts. And Benue, yes, thank you very much. Now, what are the major causes of climate change in Nigeria, and how would this contribute to security risk and conflicts within regions?
Okay, let me start from my own story. So, I mean, as I said, my husband is the one that is passionate about agric. So he had a farm then in Kwara.
So he is from Kwara too?
No, he's not. Okay. He's not. So he's a Lagosian. So during this, Fulani clashing with the herdsmen.
Okay. So
we had the effect in Kwara. So they had to leave their farmland and move to Ibadan, where we currently have our farm now. So that's like a clear example, because I'm trying to give like a layman understanding on how climate change actually affects us in the country. Just recently also, I think this month or last month, there was flood. There was issue of flood. I think there was some in Kwara, another part of the country. I mean, and then we face this consistently in Lagos. Yeah, I mean, I would never imagine I would live in Lagos because I mean, wow. But yeah, where I am, and I'm really excited about the opportunity that the city is giving me. Yeah, so other causes that I would want to like share more is you and I want to ask you a question. Okay, I mean, you're the interviewer, but I just want to take this role. Have you ever thrown a plastic out of the car, a moving vehicle before?
Okay, now, to be sincere, I attended a girls-only secondary school, and in our secondary school, it is a sin to throw something on the floor. Instead, put it at the net side. There's a net on everybody's bag. Instead, put it at that net in your bag. So till today, I still have the culture. Till today.
You're so lucky, because I didn't go to that so much. I mean, when I was in secondary school, I was. But every time we still have cleanups in the school that we punishment, so I go and pick round. I was a prefect when I was in secondary school. So you just go and pick round, right? Because I mean there was so much education about it. So every time a bus is moving, there is a good chance that one person inside that moving
but
vehicle
then there's also an agency in Lagos, I'm trying to remember their name, not Loma also, and they sweep Lagos roads.
Yeah.
They're women's on
yeah,
that
but
bridge.
then they have the time they're sweeping. They're not sweeping every second, right? They sweep it early in the morning. Very early in the morning,
yes.
every day.
And I think they sweep till like till 12 p.m. because
Yeah.
they're constantly there.
Yeah, so what happens to those people that are moving by 2 p.m., 3 p.m.?
But do you think there should be a straight road? Okay, if you drop something on the floor, maybe someone should just slap you from the left or something.
So, I mean, I've done one before. I didn't slap the driver. I was in a bus and the driver was drinking a particular plastic and then he threw it out and I yelled. And then I heard another voice from the back that yelled at the driver. That's how myself and Sakina Olajide became friends. I'm like, oh, okay. Somebody also understands that this thing is wrong, right? And the man was just shaking like, kilo shele, kinemoshe. They didn't see it as any big deal, right? Because they know that these people that you mentioned that would sweep the following morning. So why would they keep it in their bus?
Now, let me cut you short there. I had an experience one time. Okay, I hailed from Ondo State, so I had the better part of my life in Ondo State. I mean, so there was a time I was, as usual, I put my car. Okay, I don't take soda, but whatever nylon I take, I put it in my bag. So there was a time it fell off from my bag that I didn't know, and the woman it fell in front of her shop literally wanted to swallow me. She screamed, she shouted at me to picky, who is sweeping, who is the maid that was sweeping? I feel like that's a very good maintenance culture, because if she didn't shout at me, I wouldn't know it fell off, and then it would be a dirt in front of our shop. So I feel like if everybody sees anybody dropping something, they should at least shout at the person and make the person pick it.
Yeah, I mean, for that woman, she's trying to protect her goods,
which is good,
because if that's
for our own selfish interest, but then it turned out good. Yeah,
because that can that you're talking about, whatever it was, would drop and go down to the gutter, block the drainage,
erosion,
and our shop gets flooded, and then the goods are bad, and at the end of the day she's at the losing end. But she might not even know this detail. She's just trying to keep the environment clean, but sometimes you don't know that keeping the environment clean is actually stopping erosion or flooding, right? I mean, just this year we heard in the news that a woman was caught bringing out waste in this Lagos and pouring it inside a flood or something like that. They went to arrest her. Those are stories, those are actions that we want to be seeing, right? Because these little things, they actually matter. I mean, aside from flooding, we have deforestation. We have a massive increase in deforestation in Nigeria because of charcoal, and now that fuel is now even expensive and all of that, people are even exploring charcoal more now. Yes, right? So how do we now educate these people that every little action that we're taking is actually affecting the climate, is actually affecting the environment, and if we don't protect it, trust me, you can't stop water, you can't stop climate from happening. Everywhere can get flooded right now. I mean, we saw what is happening in other countries, developed countries, out there being affected by climate change. Not to talk of us that we're still crawling, we're still developing. So at this point is actually the best time for us to really prioritize climate action. It can be as little as ensuring that your waste bin in your house is clean, as little as ensuring that you're disposing your waste very, very accurately. You're separating your waste from your house. Your plastic is different from your can, your food waste is different from paper and all of that. Those culture, by the time we start it, we have many also doing it, things will get better, right? And from there we can now start looking at how can we ensure that policies that we're making during the Buhari's tenure, President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure, he passed the climate change bill, right? And we're looking at how can this bill be more effective? How can it be domesticated at state level to ensure that people understand climate change and they understand the action they need to take and they need to stop taking at the detriment of our climate.
Now, how can international collaborations and partnership contribute to addressing climate change security peace in Africa, and what areas do you believe require the most urgent attention?
Honestly, all of the areas. Climate change is beyond what we are talking about today. Climate change affects girls, and boys differently.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you've seen a lot of people what's it called now? IDP, internally displaced people. So those people are not just displaced as a result of insecurity. Some of them have been displaced as a result of climate change.
Natural disaster.
Exactly. So imagine that you're in that room and it's not your house. You know, you have a lot of issues of rape going on. You have issues of children not going to school. You have issue of no proper sanitation in the IDP camps. And all of these are like the effect. These are like the result. And I mean, I see UNDP and other UN parastatals are doing things, you know, to support countries who have been highly affected by this crisis. But I mean, we just need to foster the collaboration. But as we're fostering the collaboration to proffer solution, you know, to ensure that girls are safe in IDP camps, to ensure that children have access to education, even while they're in IDP camp, you know, to ensure that I, as a farmer, can go to the farm without being scared of, you know, who is going to come and attack me, who is going to come and kidnap me. We need to move to that level. We need to collaborate. We need to understand that this is everybody's effort, you know, from federal government to that, local government. I want to use this word, to head of the community. It's that low, because for me now, with our farm, bless you, with our farm now, right, we have a strong relationship with the head of the community. And 3 months ago, they stole one of our biggest tank at the farm.
Oh.
But
so
we've not found, no, it's okay. We've not found it till now.
Okay.
I mean, that is us even having a relationship with the community. So what now happens when you don't have relationship with them? Imagine things that would happen to your farm. Imagine things that will happen to your properties, right? So there is need for that collaboration. There is need for everybody to work together. Because at the end of the day, my farm is producing jobs opportunity for the young people in your community, for the women in your community. And why should I always, you know, have to come and say something is missing? They stole something, right? Why should a girl not be able to go to school because she's on her period and there is no water in her school? Why does she have to travel mile on her period to go and fetch water? Because they don't have clean water in their community. These are climate-related issues, right? But we just need to sync them up together, proffer solution. I mean, NGOs are doing stuff, private sectors are doing things. We just need more of it to ensure that there's sustainability across board. Yeah.
Now, we are finally nipping the interview into board. As a social activist, what message would you like to convey to Nigerian public in terms of their roles and responsibility in combating climate change and ensuring security and peace in their local communities?
I think I'll just re-emphasize my last statement. Collaboration.
Okay.
Collaboration, collaboration, collaboration. When there is collaboration, I don't need to be somewhere to be sure that this thing is okay. Because I know Mira is there. I mean, I know that this person is there. There's collaboration. Collaboration is like the most important thing. When we collaborate together, we move faster.
Yeah.
When we collaborate together, we tend to prefer sustainable solution to problems. Right? It's not just me doing it, but I'm bringing people together. Let's work together. So we must, you know, embrace collaboration. We must also, you know, look at what is our attitude towards the environment? What is our attitude towards the climate? You know, we need attitudinal change, right? To ensure that people change from that narrative of when it's raining, I want to bring out my waste. We need charcoal. We need to sell market. Poverty is making people do deforestation. They would cut down trees, make charcoal, sell it, make money, send their children to school. So how do we bridge that poverty gap? How do we ensure that there is more opportunity circulating, you know, across board? So there is need for that collaboration from government to young people, to NGOs, to high NGOs, to the general public, honestly, and even the private sector. So there is need for that collaboration. And I'm sure that if we can do well with collaboration, we will move faster, as I said, and we'll be able to profile, you know, sustainable solutions to problems in the country.
And a final note before we go into a short game, what do you and I need to do better? It starts from you and I, obviously.
Yeah.
When I want to trash my waste, I trash my dirt in a separate place and I put my cans together. I think almost every Lagosian is either drinking canned water or pure water or sachet water. So I ensure I put my my cans in one place, and before I say jack, someone is picking it. I don't even know who picks it, but that's because I'm enlightened to know that, okay, you don't put the cans in the dirt basket. But what do I need to do? What do the normal people on the street need to do better?
Because before we come to the normal people on the street,
Okay.
let's talk about the government.
Okay, lovely.
So every Monday, the lawma comes to my area, then we discard our waste.
Mm-hmm.
Is this also happening in other states of the Federation?
Okay, I can only speak of Lagos.
Exactly.
Yes.
We need actions like that.
But considering, talking about Loma, I moved to a new location not too long ago, and the owner of the property told me that Loma charges them 6,000 naira in a month to trash waste, and they complained of how expensive, outrageous, not even expensive, now outrageous it is. Is it true about?
Okay, so I mean, for my own apartment where I stay now, we just pay it yearly with house rent. So
Okay.
I don't even know.
Never
what,
can tell.
Yeah, exactly. But I think, I mean, issues like this, the moment you tweet at Loma, they'll give you a response. They're
Okay.
very active on Twitter.
Okay.
So I think we need action like that,
Mm-hmm.
that every certain, day of the week, these people are coming to pick up my trash. So you know that you have to keep it clean. You have to keep it, well tidy. You have to have separated your waste. When sometimes I give my plastic waste to Loma. I give them separately, so they don't put it at that dirty. They know that, okay, it is recyclable. You can take it to your recycling plant, because they also have a recycling plant. Exactly. So these are efforts, right? So how do we ensure that efforts like these are replicated across the country? Efforts like this are going down to low communities, because they also have waste. But do they have Loma coming to them? Do they have all these waste management organizations coming to them? No. How do we provide incentives? So, for example, I'm giving you my plastic waste. What do I get in return? People will jump at it, right? A lot of organizations do it with schools that, okay, when you bring plastic waste, we give you money to take your children back to schools. And you see mothers going to events, gathering plastic, just to be able to take it to these recyclers, and they can get money but trust me, the rate at which we recycle in Nigeria, what we get, the incentive we get is actually low to the developed country, right? So we need to move towards that, to encourage more people to practice all of this, human heart of protecting the environment. And aside from that, we need to learn, right? One of the strategies I've adopted over time is talking to children about climate change. Then when they go back, they're able to tell their parents. So I don't necessarily, exactly. I don't necessarily have to know your mom before I talk. I know I've already spoken to the child, so they'll go back home and talk to them. So we need that education, we need that collaboration, we need sustainable action from government to the people. We need people to also understand that it is for our own good. Certain things are for our own good. If we're not comfortable with them, we recommend things to them that, okay, I think this would work better in this way. I mean, I think that we should all also look at government. I don't see government as my enemy. Because I work in the social development space. I see them as my friend. Because if I relocate, as you said, as we were suggesting I should the other time, if I relocate out of the country now, I mean, that means a lot of things. I might decide to stop my social activism. But the government would remain in the country to keep moving. So imagine that I didn't collaborate with them. There are certain things that they would also stop doing, right? So we need to work with the government. We need to collaborate. We need platforms like yours to be able to tell all of these stories, to be able to encourage the government and people to take actions that are more sustainable towards the environment and towards our community.
Lovely. Well, this is where we draw the curtain for today. But before we go into the short game, I think I want to add to what you just said. We ourselves are our own helpers, and we are also the architects of our own fortunes or misfortune. I'll just share a small story. There was a time I came out of my apartment and I saw an old woman washing. There's this big container in which we all trust in. She was washing it. And I asked her, why is she washing? She said, it smells and she doesn't want it to smell. And I was like, oh, that's very impressive.
And it caused a lot of mosquitoes.
Yes, and Lagos and rats are like 5 and 6.
They'll be there.
So she said she washes it and she adds Dettol or Isa inside to make it healthy. And I feel like, oh, wow. This is like the very first time I'm hearing someone say they wash their own trash can. So this is me telling you at home, yes, we know Loma comes every Thursday, every Monday, every Tuesday to come pick up your trash. But after they pick it up, try to wash the can. Wash it with water, wash it with soap, and then drop a cup of Dettol, a cup of Isa to keep it held, make it smell nice. Because it will smell bad. Rats will find their way into it. It will generate rats.
And
then
air pollution. They'll come into your house.
They will come into your house and then air pollution. But then finally we have a short game that we'll play as usual, and this is just a game to get to know you better. Just a 5-minute thing. So it is called This or That. This or That. Fine. We've to an extent you already know who you are and what you stand for and what you represent. But now we want to know you more in a game way. So I ask you this or that and you answer as fast as possible.
Okay.
Now, gowns or skirts?
Gowns.
Heels or flat shoes?
Depending on the dress, but heels, please.
Okay. Shoes or sneakers?
Sneakers.
Reading or talking?
Both.
House shells or plain?
Both.
City or countryside?
Both.
Give a speech or write a paper?
Both, because I have to write.
Work from home or work in the office?
I have to work from home.
9 to 5 for business?
Please, business. I like my business, and 9 to 5 too can do, but if it's remote, why not?
Okay, and finally, money or fame?
Both.
Here, this is where you get to pick one.
Okay. Money or fame, money or fame, money or fame. Money, please.
Money, not fame.
Okay, if I have money, won't I organize conferences, cleanups, and I'll be famous?
Oh, so you say you can use your money to buy fame?
Yeah, I can. I can very well.
Okay. So viewers at home, you've heard it all for Baliqees Salaudeen Ibrahim. She has shed light to climate change, and I hope you've also learned one or two things. Change starts from you and I. Change starts from how you recycle your things. Change starts from how you know it is really wrong to trash your dirt in the flowing water canals and all of that. It is wrong. Make the change. Tell your neighbors to make the change. Tell your children to make the change. And before we say Jack, the whole world is changing. This is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of Amazing Amazon. We say a very thank you to you, ma'am, for coming.
Thank you. I had a great time.
Thank you. So do I. I had a great time too. So do you have a final word of advice in 10 seconds?
Okay, in 10 seconds. Please just be you. Know when to stop. Contribute to the healthy part of our continent and embrace collaboration. It works.
For me, I'll be taking from what you said, know when to stop and just be you. And don't forget, like we say on this program, be consistent. Keep doing what you're doing best. Someone out there is looking at you. Someone out there, they don't need to like your post. They don't need to comment on your post. They don't need to react to your post. But you know what? They are viewing it. That is why your views will be more than your likes and comments. My name is Omotoshola Sarimakin, but you know the conversation still continues on YouTube. To watch the previous ones, to watch the ones we're going to produce much later, just press Amazing Amazon on YouTube, and then you see all the previous episodes of the. And to reach out to our guests, would you want to drop your social media handle?
Okay, so my social media handle, or you can just put my name on Google. Honestly, Baliqees Salaudeen, and you see every of my details. Okay,
this is where I wrap up today. My name is Omotoshola Sarimakin, like I said, and I'm saying do have a lovely weekend. Bye for now.
Thank you.